Jalen Suggs,
Very polarizing.
so close to being a national champion. We've made videos about him in the past, but now we're going to talk about his pros and cons, his comparison, pro comparison, his ceiling and floor. I mean, in college, he was phenomenal. At Gonzaga, 14-5-2. I mean, 14-5-5, and he had 2 steals per game. So he's an all-around player. He shot 50% from the field, 33% from three, and 76% from the free throw line. He's 6'4", and he's not 180. He's actually 205 pounds. So he has a 25-pound advantage.
205 in college.
He has a 25-pound advantage over Jalen Green. Jalen Suggs is the real deal. I mean, I love him as a player. He drives to the basket really effectively and well. He finishes from different angles. His athleticism is second to none. He has a high motor. He's a high-level rebounder for his size. I can see him averaging 7 rebounds a game in the NBA. That's how good of a rebounder I see him becoming, and he already is right now. He's great in transition, and he's a great on-ball defender. Like, his on-ball defense is suffocating. He does need to improve his three-point shot and his free throw shooting, and I don't think he's a high-level shot creator. I think he's more of a player that is he thrives in space, he thrives in transition, but he's not a guy that if your offense is stagnant, okay, Jalen Suggs, go get us a bucket. I don't think he's that guy unless he just puts his head down and drives to the basket. But in terms of just creating shots off the bounce, I don't think he's really good at that. He has to improve that in his game. But Jalen Suggs, I think his ceiling is an all-star and his floor is a starter. I think Jalen Suggs, I see no way he's not a good NBA player. I think he's going to be a really good NBA player. And I have a pro comparison that's going to shock you. And it's going to shock a lot of people watching this right now because this guy's name has been thrown into the dirt for the past couple of years for good reason because he's been playing bad. But people forget that he used to be a very good player. And this player is Eric Bledsoe. Jalen Suggs reminds me a lot of Eric Bledsoe. I know people say Kyle Lowry, but Kyle Lowry isn't as athletic. He's not Suggs is not the shooter that Lowry is, and Lowry could get you a basket. He's shown that before. I don't think he's like a Mike Conley type of player. People say Jason Kidd. I don't see Jason Kidd at all. They've said
that's ridiculous.
They've said Chauncey Billups. Not really. I don't see it. Eric Bledsoe. People forget in Phoenix, he averaged 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in 2016. They used to call him Baby LeBron. He's a high-level athlete. He gets to the basket with ease. He's not a good three-point shooter, which has plagued him in his career so far. And he's also a great defender. He made an all-defensive team. I think that's what Suggs can be. Like, Suggs at his best, I think, is 21 points, 5 rebounds, maybe 7 assists. He's going to play elite defense. He's going to be a great player in terms of driving to the basket. But if Jalen Suggs doesn't develop a three-point shot, he could end up like Eric Bledsoe, who now we see with the Pelicans isn't impactful because he can't shoot. So if Suggs can develop that shot, we're going to see what Eric Bledsoe could have been if he were to have a jump shot. But I think watching Suggs, I said, this guy, he's not Jason Kidd. He's not Kyle Lowry. He's not Chauncey. I think I see a lot of Eric Bledsoe in this game.
Well, it's funny because when you threw up his stats, people have to remember in Gonzaga, he was like the 4th, 5th option. Most of his baskets was on fast breaks or kind of just not in the flow of the offense. But with Jalen Suggs, the fact is he played with a group of great guys at Gonzaga, a winning organization. So he knows how to win. He knows how to play with others. He knows how to fit into a system. So I think coming to the NBA, that's good for him. He's a high-level IQ guy, very smart guy. He knows what to do. He knows how to play his position. Now, with his weaknesses, it's a lot. He doesn't have great – he has good handles, but he doesn't have great handles in terms of separating from his defender. Most of his baskets are on a fast break in a half-court set. You don't see him creating for himself a lot. His jump shot is in trouble. It's a bit shaky. He has a nice form, but it just doesn't go in all the time. And sometimes, he just throws his head down and he just goes to the basket with nothing much else after that, kind of like a Westbrook thing. He just goes and whatever happens, happens. But for the most part, he's a very smart player. And pro comparisons, I see a lot of OKC Westbrook in him. like rebounding the ball, playmaking, being that guy that just down here. I see a lot of D Rose a little bit in him too. I think the Eric Bledsoe comparison was really good. A guy who can defend, who can go to the basket, who really can't shoot. But I think he'll be able to be a comfortable shooter in the NBA. Bledsoe had to work into all of that. I think Jalen Suggs coming in is a smarter player than most of those guys.
Yeah.
So I think for him it's just about putting it all together and getting the right fit. So, and I think, like, as we're going to get into it, the right fit would be Toronto for me, because I think, with that organization, the group of guys, I think that'd be incredible for him. So I think that'd be the perfect fit for him, honestly, because it would be able for him to grow his game.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, right? I mean, at Gonzaga, he played with Corey Kispert, Drew Timme. He played Joel Ayayi, who's going to be a draft pick as well in the second round, possibly.
Nembhard, too, a backup point guard.
And, I mean, he had a lot of great players playing at their winning organization. That's why, and that was used as a knock on him, right? Because he didn't have to carry a team. But if he goes to Toronto, it's much of the same. You have Siakam. You have Van Vliet. You have Gary Trent Jr. if he comes back. You have OG. I mean, it's much of the same. You have a lot of high-level players around you. And the three teams I'm looking at are Toronto, Orlando, surprisingly, and OKC. I don't think Orlando takes them because they just have too many point guards. OKC, Jalen Suggs and Shea, I think would be a really great backcourt. I would love that a lot. And you talk about Suggs, Shea, and Dort.
Yeah.
That would be great defensively. But Toronto is obviously the best fit. Losing Kyle Lowry most likely this offseason, you need a point guard to replace him. And I think Suggs, even though I compared him to Eric Bledsoe, I think he's more of a floor general than Eric Bledsoe. I really do. So because of that, I think he would fit right in Toronto. He's 6'4", 205. Van Vliet is like 6'3", I think 6'1" around there. He's 6'1". Oh, no, he's 6'1".
He's like 6'1".
So Suggs is 6'4", Van Vliet is 6'1". That's a small lineup, but that's not too small because
Van Vliet's strong.
Van Vliet is strong. He's bulky, and Suggs is just really, he's 205. He's 6'4", 205, so it speaks for itself. Toronto would be a great fit. It would be a great fit. I would love to see him there, but I have a feeling that Toronto might go potential over polished player right now because I think Suggs is a great player. I just don't think he has that all-NBA ceiling.
I think, and we're going to get into the next guy, but I think what you said the other day kind of hit the nail on the coffin. Toronto needs to go for the guy who gives them the best chance at being an all-NBA MVP type of guy. I won't get into that guy next, but I think they might they might pass on Suggs. But OKC, I didn't think of that. That one was a really great one because I don't think Kemba is going to be there long term. And, Suggs, Shea, and Dort, Shea has shown that he can play off the ball, on the ball. And that's three guys who can play defense at a pretty solid level. Big guys, too. Shea's about 6'6", Dort 6'5". He's bulky. So I think OKC was a sneaky one that you just put me onto, and I like that one. But,
I know people are going to hate the Jalen Suggs Bledsoe comparison, but people have
Bledsoe was a good player.
Yeah, people have to realize that not only was he a good player, but pro comparisons are not what I think the player is going to be. Pro comparisons are, look, this is the game's, this is his play style. His play style.
Do you see John Wall?
I don't see John Wall. I don't see John Wall because I think John Wall, people forget how freakishly athletic he was coming out of college. He was just a different specimen as an athlete. He could probably run the full length of the court in like 4 seconds. Like that's how fast he was. Like he was really different. I think maybe in terms of their fast break and transition scoring, you could make that assumption, but also John Wall was an elite passer.
Yeah.
I think Suggs is a good passer. He's not an elite passer. John Wall was an elite passer in his prime, average 21 and 11. Like he was really different in that aspect.